All right. Good evening, everyone. Fast Track Mason here with the Fast Track Storm Center. Coming to you, I just want to give you guys an update on the rain and what we have been experiencing over the last 24 hours, going on 30, I guess. So if you see here, we have a ton of stuff going on. Okay, we have heavy rain going on right now, as you can see here on Fast Track HD Doppler radar. In fact, give me 1 second here. I'm gonna put my phone in. That way I can see your guys' comments and answer any questions that you guys might have for me. Um, Sorry, but yeah. Um, so as I plug my phone in, you can see here on Fast Track HD Doppler radar, as we scan the skies, you can see a lot, and I mean a lot, of heavy rain falling across the area right now. We have had a ton of rain move through the area off and on today, and still continuing to actually. Um, there we go. So we'll zoom down in here because across the south is where the heaviest of the rain is. So you can see here, we are seeing some heavy rain stretching from Greene County all the way back into parts of Butler County, continuing rain to move into Warren County and Clinton County as well. In fact, northwestern Clinton and northeastern Warren are already starting to see some very heavy rain. And then out towards Union, Fayette, Wayne, and Randolph counties as well, seeing some moderate to heavy rain as well. In fact, just south of Richmond, seeing some pretty good heavy downpours and rains as well. Same thing into like Preble, Darke, Miami, Montgomery, Clark, Champaign, seeing some rain as well, and even up towards the north, across the far northern Miami Valley, seeing some very heavy rain, well, some moderate to heavy rain, I should say. We have flood advisories that have already come out. We have one that was issued for Union County, Indiana. That goes until midnight tonight. And then also we have um, another one for Butler, Greene, Miami, Montgomery, Preble, and Warren counties. That's in effect until 1 o'clock in the morning. And then also these purple polygons that you see right here showing up on Fast Track HD Doppler radar, those are flash flood warnings. Now these are just outside of the viewing area, so they don't include any of our particular counties, but they are still right outside of the viewing area. Um, so these are flash flood warnings where flash flooding is already starting to become like a concern, really. So this is the latest one that was issued until 11:45 for these three counties right here. That is for Dearborn, Franklin, and Ripley counties in Indiana. That was issued by our local National Weather Service office in Wilmington, Ohio. Again, that's until 11:45, so I'm not surprised to see that. Really, I'm not surprised to see that as much because of how much rain we've already seen. I should go ahead and switch modes here on the radar, and we'll take a look at the last 24 hours. And again, this is rainfall over the last 24 hours, so this is basically storm total rainfall. Okay, um, so how much rain we've basically seen since yesterday. You can see in some spots upwards of an inch, two, um, certainly a lot more higher in some other places, but certainly for right now, starting to see like some ones and some twos really, and even in the parts of northeastern Warren County, seeing upwards of 3 inches of rain. Again, this is just across the far southern Miami Valley, across our Ohio River counties, into parts of Preble, seeing over an inch of rain in parts of both central and southern Preble County, uh, Montgomery County, seeing just under an inch to just over an inch. Same thing for those of you in Greene County, and even back into Wayne County as well, seeing some 1.5s along uh, the southern half of Wayne County, and even into Richmond, seeing 1.1 inches in the Darke County, 0.7 inches. Really, I wouldn't be surprised if these continue to climb as we head throughout the night and into tomorrow. Really, um, these are rain rates right here. I wanted to show these as well. So this is how much rain is falling per hour. Okay, um, so this updates frequently. You can see where some of the yellows, the brighter uh, yellows, as well as some of the oranges. That's indicating where the heaviest rainfall rates are. You can see across along the Greene and Clinton County lines, upwards of 4.6 inches of rain per hour. Um, so rain coming down very, very quickly. 3.3 just to the west of Butler County, and 2.5 around um, Jacksonburg and northeastern Butler County. And these are just climbing. Okay. Um, we'll actually pull back the view and take a look at the regional radar, because look at this. I mean, this is crazy right here. Look at how much this system has progressed. I told you guys this morning, and the reason why you're seeing the radar, by the way, flicker, so I'm putting it at a timeline length of 6 hours, because I want you guys to see how much rain we've gotten over the last 6 hours. So you can see here at the start of the loop, we see that one area. If I get my pin, um, see that first area down here move through, and then that moves all the way off into parts of central Ohio and dies out. Then this one, the new one, comes in um, right there. See, this new one comes in. Really, it's like these are just the same areas getting hammered. And what this is, and you may also notice this yellow down here. I'll actually zoom down here. This yellow shading right here, that is actually a severe thunderstorm watch, because there's actually, in addition to our flooding threat, just to the south and west of us, there is actually a threat for severe weather. In fact, I'll actually switch modes again on the map and show you. Well, that's the Torcon tracker. There it is. There's the severe weather outlook tracker. Take a look at this. So yes, our southern counties a little bit in a marginal risk. That's a level 1. So that means 1 or 2 storms could become strong and severe. And there have been a few cells that popped up that have looked a little bit strong, looked a bit strong, but not severe. But where you see this yellow, that's a level 2. That's a slight risk. So this is across parts of Indiana, Illinois, Missouri, Arkansas, all the way back down into Texas, across the Dallas metro area. Um, and so we won't be dealing with that part right there. Not to say we couldn't see it here in the Miami Valley happen tonight as the system continues to move through, but I'm just saying, it's not a question. But down there, their threat is a lot more bigger. That is because they have temperatures down there. Take a look at this. This is why they have a bigger threat down there compared to what we have here. And that's because down here, their temperatures are anywhere between the upper 50s and the low 70s. Okay, so you can see it's around like Memphis and Little Rock, 72 and 73. That's enough warm air for those thunderstorms to feed off of. Add to that, you got dew points as well. So this is the moisture, which is one of the things which is one of the many things that you need to get severe thunderstorms to form. You can see dew points across the Memphis area and even back in the parts of Arkansas are in the upper 50s to low 60s. Okay, so like around Little Rock, there's a 61 down along just to the west of Interstate 55 in Mississippi, between 64 and 66 64 and 66 on the dew points. I mean that's enough moisture and warm air to cause a severe weather threat to occur. And I'll actually show this as well. There's also two areas of low pressure, one here and one down there, just to the south and east of Oklahoma City. So that's another thing. There's a little bit of a shear going on. Even though this is a severe thunderstorm, it's not a question that there could be a couple tornado warnings that get prompted. Won't affect us, but that's what normally happens. Okay. So anyway, zooming back down into our neck of the woods and going back over to the live radar, as we bring Fast Track HD Doppler radar back up to the current time, and zooming in, we'll actually get a little bit more closer and we'll dissect some of these. And you can see here heavy rain just moving across parts of southern Montgomery County. Again, this is one of the counties that's under that flood advisory that goes until 1 o'clock in the morning, because this is one of the counties where rain can become problematic throughout the rest of the night. And take a look at this. Now, I'm not going to scare you guys, but I do want to show you this. Look right here around Franklin. See this little notch right here that's forming? That is an inflow notch. So you basically got wind. You got winds being sucked into the storm. Then you got them wrapping around, wrapping back around. That could be a little bit of a rotation. In fact, we'll check out the velocities while we have the moment here. And not seeing anything too alarming, really, around the Franklin area. I'm not seeing any rotation, but just a little. It's just a little bit of a kink within the thunderstorm itself. You can see it very clearly here on the reflectivity where it curves. Really, if I grab the pen again, you can see just how it curves right here. It almost looks like there is some rotation within the storm. And another way we can look and see whether or not there is rotation is by putting on the shear track, not the shear tracker, the shear markers, okay? And I'm not getting a shear marker showing up on this particular area, but I will keep an eye on it, and if the Weather Service does issue something, I will be certain to let you know. But zooming out, going even to the northeast, and here we are across Greene County, Xenia, all the way up into Yellow Springs, down across Spring Valley, and even towards Port William. Some very heavy rain falling across parts of the county. Um, However, these are not only heavy rain, but these are some embedded thunderstorms as well. Especially this guy right here, I could tell it's a thunderstorm because of this purple that's showing up. That may be a little bit. That means there's some heavier rain within the storm, but it also could be a little bit of some hail developing. Not freakishly large hail, but just maybe if there's any hail, it would be like very small hail. In fact, what we'll do is we'll check out um, the hail tracker. Now we have to give it time to process, okay? And it doesn't look like there's any hail with that storm. It looks like there's some down here though, where the flash flood warning is right here across Ripley, Dearborn, and Franklin counties. Yes, there is some indications of hail right here, but none in parts of Greene or Clinton or Warren counties at all. And another way we can look at it is by looking at this. This is the hail core tracker. It also shows the strength of the storm, like which storm is the strongest. So just instead of just looking at reflectivity, which is a common way to see which storm is the strongest, This actually gives you a better indication of which storm is the strongest based on which one has a hail core. When you have, basically, when you have a thunderstorm that has, hi Zeker, hey buddy, you guys remember Zeker? Hi buddy, hi bud. Anyway, as I was saying, when you guys get a thunderstorm that develops a hail core, that usually indicates that's the strongest storm because not only is it going to be producing heavy rain and lightning and gusty winds, it's also going to be producing some hail as well. Okay, and in some cases, the hail can get big enough to where it becomes severe. And cross, while we are not seeing that any indications of a hail core with the storm in southeastern Greene County, kind of seeing what looks to be a developing one in parts of southwestern Butler County. It's updating right now, so that's why it's flickering. Looks like it's shrinking down a little bit. But this one right here, this guy right here in southeastern Franklin County around Cedar Grove, it looks like it could try to develop. It's kind of weak right now, but if it gets up towards like the yellow, the orange, or the red, that definitely means that there's a hail core and that's more likely going to be producing hail. Take a look at these. Again, what we're doing is we're dissecting some of these embedded thunderstorms to see which ones are the strongest right now, okay? Um, this is echo tops. So basically, this indicates which storm is the tallest. Usually, you're used to seeing like towers when they put the radar in like a 3D mode where it shows the tops of the thunderstorms. This is like that, but it's not. It's just not in the 3D perspective. Okay, but we can still see which one where there is some very tall thunderstorms. Looking at 10.7K feet. Um, so they're kind of tall. They're not super tall. Um, and of course, we don't have the energy for them to like really build up in the atmosphere to become very tall thunderstorms. What we're dealing with more right now is this more of a heavy rain uh, situation rather than a very strong thunderstorm threat. Okay, um, but yeah, go back over to the radar. Zooming in here, you just see how heavy this rain is coming down. Really, I actually put where is it? Here it is. Storm reports on here. None across the Miami Valley yet. But down here, where there is a flash flood warning, like I said, and I'll pop that polygon on. There's the flash flood warning right there for Dearborn, Ripley, and Franklin counties. And look right here, there is a storm report there of flash flooding really. Um, but yeah, that just goes to show you that we can see flooding occur. Okay. So I would say, so for those of you that don't have to be out tonight, if you don't have to be out, stay inside until tomorrow, okay? Um, if you do have to be out tonight, say you have to head in like an hour from now to go to work, say you work like third shift at your job, you have to head in soon. Be careful because there's going to be a lot of water out there. Could be some ponding on the roads, and keep in mind, it only if you come across a flooded roads, turn around, don't drown. Okay, keep in mind, most flood-related deaths occur in cars. Okay, where people try to drive through floodwaters and they can't get across, and that water rises up even more to where it eventually takes them under. Okay, well, not takes them under, but makes it to where they can't escape and they end up dying. Okay, so that's why you should never try to drive through a flooded roadways, and also because another reason why you don't want to try and drive through a flooded roads is because you don't know how deep that water. You don't know how deep that water is. In most cases, you don't ever know how deep that water is, and it only takes about 2 inches of water to literally wash away your car, to carry your vehicle off of the road and into like a ditch or another place. Okay, um, so never underestimate the power of moving water. Okay, um, so yeah, that's why never drive through a flooded roads. Instead, just turn around and just take a different way to reach your destination, or just wait until the water recedes, which would be for a long time. Um, but I have a theory that we may see some flooding occur across the Miami Valley. It wouldn't surprise me because, and this was a great point. I learned this from WTO meteorologist Nick Dunn. Last month when we had severe weather move through. If you guys remember, February 19th, we had some severe weather move through. There was a flash flood warning that was issued um, for Montgomery, Greene, Clark, Clinton, and Warren counties. I still remember that night like it was yesterday. And Nick Dunn brought up a good point, and that is that with the ground being cold, like, just recently we had some snow move through. We had some snow move through the Miami Valley. That put down a good 1 to 2 inches on the ground, maybe a little bit higher in some spots on some grassy surfaces. So that kind of left the ground being cold, really, and Nick said that if you can't, if the ground is cold, it's not going to be able to absorb all that water. Okay, so that's why in most cases tonight you're going to be seeing some water, some standing water, um, or if like the water is up on a hill and there's a creek nearby, you're going to see what's called runoff. Basically, the water's going to run off of the hill and into like a creek or a river that's nearby, and that's going to cause some of the creeks and streams to start, and even some of the rivers to start getting stressed out. In fact, I have never showed this, but the Fast Track HD Doppler radar does have a special feature in it that is made just for river gauge observations. So these basically are river observations from across the area. Okay, so you see um, this one right here. This is near Troy. Um, you can see it already has an observation of 2.6 feet action stage. So that's when you want to start taking actions. They start taking precautions. You can see action stage on that is 9.5 feet. Flood stage is 12 feet. Lightning detected 5.8 miles from your location. That's another thing. You guys may hear some rumbles of thunder. I just got a lightning alert on my phone for New Madison. There's lightning near within my range. Um, but anyway, flood stage on this particular river in Miami County, which I think it's the Great Miami River. I don't remember the rivers right off the top of my head of where they're located. Okay, I know there's the Little Miami River at South Lebanon, which is in Warren County. That one was under a flood warning recently, and that has since then been canceled. But yeah, flood stage 12.0 feet, so just straight up 12 feet, and then the flow rate is actually 0.22. All right. So, and then the time of the I don't know why it says March 5th because it's not. It's not March 5th. Um, it's March 4th right now. So the time must be wrong. But yeah, it's just a recent one. And then down here in southwestern Montgomery County, just south of Farmersville, look at this. Observation 22.4 feet, okay? Action stage 22.0 feet. Flood stage is 62.0 feet, okay? Let's see what else we have. South Lebanon, uh, 12.5 feet. On the observation, action stage is 15 feet, and flood stage is 19 feet. So basically, this is giving you an idea of which rivers are starting to become, like, which ones are starting to rise, okay, because of all the rain and all the runoff, okay? We see some of these bigger pink diamonds out here in Indiana across parts of Shelbyville and stuff. That's indicating where there's some higher rising rivers or creeks or streams, okay? Where like this one that I have my cursor on. The observation is 8.5 feet. Action stage is 3 feet. All right. So the observation is actually well over that action stage, and the flood stage, as you can see there, is reading 6 feet. Okay. Um, so if I'm not mistaken, and I should know this because of from being a weatherman, but I keep forgetting what flood stage is. Um, but if I'm correct, flood stage is when it begins to flood. Hold on. Not Alexa. Amazon. What is the definition of flood stage?
Flood stage is usually defined as the elevation at which water overflows the natural banks of a river or other body of water in a given portion of the body of water. Either way, you have a new notification. Do you want to hear it?
No. So see right there, pretty close enough. So basically, when the water starts to overflow and starts to flood, okay, that's what flood stage is. Okay, something new just came through, so I'm gonna go check that out. Out. We actually, yeah, there's a report. That same one I saw. Okay, all right. Um, but yeah. So, but yeah, that's what this feature does. I don't show this very much because I haven't used it a lot because I don't hardly use it, but it is a great tool to have. That's why I love this system, actually, this radar system that I have. Because not only can I see different things, I can also see which river is going at the highest, okay? So going back over to Fast Track HD Doppler radar and zooming in, we'll check out a bit more of these storms, really. And actually, we'll go up here to parts of Darke County as well, around the New Madison area, which is actually where my studio is located. About like this area here is where my studio is located. And so you can see just New Madison, there's a break just in the north of you, but you got more coming in. We got more coming in. And like, this is going to be an all nighter, okay? And this could very well proceed into tomorrow. Pulling back the bigger picture again, and I want to take you down here as well, and I want to show you something as well. This is across the parts of the Dallas, Texas metro area. And this right here, this polygon, that is a flash flood warning, but I want you to see what it is. It's an observed one, but this one right here is a considerable flash flood warning, okay? Um, that means there's flash flooding doing considerable damage. And this one means that there's flash flooding that has been observed, okay? So like it has been reported across parts of the metro area in Dallas, okay? Um, but yeah, that's what's going on right now. Um, Let me know if you guys have any questions that you want me to answer for you before I end the live. I'm not going to be on here too much longer. I just wanted to come on here and give you guys an update about what's going on so far with the rain. Um, but I do have to head to bed soon because I have to work tomorrow. I have to get up in the morning to do fast track morning weather for you guys. Hopefully, I'll be able to get up in the morning. But yeah. Um, um, Putting my feature radar in here. And I do want to show another thing as well, in case you guys don't know. We'll take a look at this again. It's the Fast Track 7-day forecast from this morning. From this morning, really. Um, there you go, right there. So you can see tonight we're going to be dealing with that again. Um, and then tomorrow, calling for more rain. Temperatures, though, will be in the 60s, okay? Move my camera out of the way. There we go. Put myself up in the corner. So yeah. Um, yeah, tomorrow, rain with a high of 61, low 51. Friday, looking at a few more showers in the morning, and it'll be clearing out during the day. And we'll be watching for temperatures to climb into the low 70s. So some spots could reach 71, okay? Which I know some of you may be looking forward to. Then Saturday is a fast track weather alert day. I still haven't put that on there, but I will. Saturday is looking like a chance for thunderstorms with a high of 67, a low of 61. Sunday, Monday, we get a break from the rain. Just for 2 days, though, okay? Um, and we'll be going into the 50s on Sunday and the 70s on Monday. And then Tuesday looks like we have another chance for some more scattered thunderstorms with highs going as high as 76 degrees on Tuesday. All right. Um, I do have to start getting off of here for the night, unfortunately. But I will still monitor the radar though throughout the night and tomorrow as well before I go to work. I will be keeping an eye very close on what the National Weather Service is saying and what Fast Track is showing. Okay, so I hope you guys have a wonderful night. If you have any questions, shoot me a message and I will answer them when I can. And I hope stay safe tonight. And again, if you don't have to be out, don't go out and stay away from floodwaters, okay? So I think that's going to do it for tonight. You guys take care and stay safe out there, and I will see you guys hopefully in the morning on Fast Track Morning Weather, okay? All right?